I grew up in Montreal. We came to Canada in 1950 and grew up in somewhat a charmed environment of Yiddish-speaking Kulturmenschen who were very actively involved in supporting, maintaining, building Yiddish cultural institutions, including the Jewish Public Library. And my first language clearly was Yiddish. And it never occurred to me that the world was not a Yiddish-speaking world. And our circle of friends and small family were all Yiddish-speaking. And the heroes of modern Jewish history were my heroes, the Yiddish writers, the leaders of the Bund, the great Jewish thinkers. These were all people that I was very familiar with, and I was really very fortunate to have met many, many of them in Montreal. Not only those that lived in Montreal, but those who came to visit Montreal, and there were many. Almost every Yiddish writer of the 20th century came and visited Montreal, and I met each and every one of them, the great Yiddish actors, including Herz Gosbal. It was an incredibly rich world, and more than that, my sister and I were very, very fortunate to attend a day school in which Yiddish was played a very important role. So not only did we study the language and history in Yiddish, but the literature, and so it was very hard for me to separate home and school, especially since my mother was a Yiddish teacher. My mother was trained in Vilna. She went to the Yiddish teacher seminary there. She also trained Montessori in Vienna before the war. And so many of the teachers were also family friends. And so it was a seamless movement back and forth between home and school. And so everything was validated equally in both places. It was really quite an extraordinary experience.